Let me start with the mantras I live by, right? For people trying to get into the same space and ecosystem, but also working towards, whatever goals and dreams you have. Number one, I always say, be good at what you do, Find the time, take the time to learn. I spend so much time at the iHub hanging out with tech kids to understand the difference between UX, UI, what Java is, I learned so much about the technology and I still keep learning, which is partly why I also move, right? So now I'm learning about the domain name system, what that looks like, what does that ecosystem and that space looks like. So learn and be good at what you do. That's number one. Number two is be kind. Just be a good person. It's basic, it's bare minimum. That's how we are raised as Africans, as Kenyans. Be kind. You never know who's who. We actually have scenarios and situations where, as outside counsel or lawyers, you work in a law firm, the person in the company sometimes would be mean to you or rude to you or talk to you in a demeaning way. And then the next day you go and you're their boss. Things shift. Or the number of times that we've had of even layoffs in the system, in the space, right? You reach out to someone because they work at Google, Facebook, wherever. You're like, oh, I'd like to have a meeting. They're like, for what? The next day they're laid off, So just be a kind person, not just because something kind. Bad will happen to you, know. But be a good person. And then the last thing is build a solid network, Have community around you that vouches for you. Part of the reason why I decided to come back home was because of community, because I have amazing community here. So find a solid network of people that sees your value and that you add value into, and then leverage on that, because that always works. They actually say that there's a book I'd recommend called The Proximity Principle by Ken Coleman, but he says that it's weak ties that will enable you to move to the next thing in life. So think about it like when in this room, I say, oh, I'm actually looking for a graphic designer or something, or we are hiring for an account manager role or something. It's rarely the person close to you, like your close-knit circle, your family or friends, that creates those opportunities. It's the outside. And I'm sure you've had that experience as well, right?
I'm currently experiencing it right now. Someone I met at the festival and 2 years ago, barely had a conversation, but it was important enough for us to follow each other on social media.
Yeah.
But now, I think 2 years down the line, knowing that after following each other, oh, okay, maybe you do this. You're actually good at this tech marketing. Actually need that. Are we able to work together on this? And that's loose end that is tied,
big
but
ties, absolutely.
It works. It works. And I would just add a point to what you've said is just being vocal about what you do.
Yes.
Because that loose tie is only made when you say, oh yeah, actually during my work when as a graphic designer, it's like just naturally always put it in. Yeah, actually when I was recording my tech podcast with the guest, that was always, because you just never know who's listening.
Absolutely. And the next question is, tell me more about your podcast. What do you talk about? So that's where opportunities come. So that's my advice for anyone trying to get into this space and career. It's worked for me. I'm happy with it. I'll keep doing it because it's tried and tested. For women, I have been very privileged to work with amazing women. I've had women lawyers around me who are older, more experienced, who are wiser, pour into me so passionately and so well. Shout out to the Lean In ladies. We have a Lean In group of lawyers in technology, ladies in technology, amazing cohort, which is legal counsel from Microsoft, Google, Oracle, Facebook, Safaricom, Jamii Telcom, Wananchi Online. Think of whoever's in the space and in the ecosystem.
How can someone get into that space in case they're interested? Just...
Well, I can share a few links because there's a number of groups and spaces and ecosystem communities for that. Okay. So that's, leverage on that. However, do not be naive, right? Which is what I was for a very long time. Not everyone is rooting for you. Not everyone is minding your business or minding your success. Not everyone will be happy for you. So just be aware of that, because I wasn't. I assumed it's happy-go-lucky, So be aware of that.
But could you get a bit more into detail of what you mean by that?
Yeah, so there are platforms that are created, right? And a lot of us pull each other up, right? Where there's opportunities, the speaking gigs. I think I'm a great connector, master connector. If I find opportunities, I see a lot of synergy between people and organizations. And so I love doing that. And I've had women around me do that. But not everyone is like that, whether male or female, it doesn't matter. Just be aware of that and do not be as naive to think that everyone is working towards your best interests. So be aware of that. And then read more, and learn more. This work-life balance conversation that we still continue to have, find spaces that allow you to get into and thrive. One of the spaces I'd shout out is like African Women in Tech, which I sit on the board advisory for. We're building a space and an ecosystem for women in the ecosystem to come in and thrive in, So find those spaces, take advantage of those.
Can I be in that space?
Yes, say less than.
Thank you.
Yeah. But find those spaces, be in those rooms, listen to those people. The system is not for us, but things are changing. We get into those spaces and we make it for us, and we find spaces for us to get into and thrive in.